Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Paterson, and welcome to a new video. If you remember, a few weeks ago I made a video about the current design trends and the 2018 design trends that I believe are going to take place in 2018. Well, that video got a lot of traction and a lot of you guys have been tweeting at me, messaging me saying that you've been seeing these things already starting to happen. You may have read other blogs that have taken my video and put it on their websites, and other people just writing about what they think are going to be in the design trend scene in 2018, and they're very similar to what I said as well. Now, a lot of you may be wondering how I knew this and how I can see a design trend coming. Well, that is very easy. You just look to see what the latest trends are. If you look and you are passionate enough, you'll see it all over the place online if you look at certain articles and people's featured work on Behance, for instance. But a question that is on everyone's heart that they've been asking me for a while, or maybe it's a question that you've never really thought of: how do you actually start a design trend? A lot of you will be looking at me kind of strangely right now thinking, Will, how could you ever start a design trend? Well, I have actually broken down the means to starting a design trend and how it can work. So here are 6 ways to start a design trend and how it works. This video is brought to you by FreshBooks. For a design trend to actually work, it needs to be something repeatable. A trend is only a trend if a lot of people are doing it. So for instance, double exposure is now very easy to do. There's an app called Afterlight 2 on the iPhone 10 that I've been using, and you can create double exposure very easily within your pictures. A lot of people are using this, and even though it's a very basic form of design, it's still design, and people are using it for advertising campaigns, poster designs, and everything like that. For it to become a trend, a lot of companies need to start using it, and it needs to be repeatable across a lot of designers. Designers need to know how it works. So something that is simple will actually become more of a trend, or is easily able to become more of a trend because it's more replicatable. Repeatable, that's the word, repeatable. For instance, if a design trend was to come out this year, which is like, you know, dripping text effect, which I do believe is going to make a huge comeback this year, it's very easy to create dripping text effects in Illustrator and in hand lettering and everything else. I believe very much so that if it's easy, then a lot of people can do it and it becomes a trend. So if you're trying to start a trend, make sure it is repeatable. The second way is to create something or start a trend that people want to share. One thing that I keep in mind when I create these videos and create my Instagram posts for my business, because this is all my business, right? I keep making money on this and it helps me live. Well, the only way for me to do that is if people watch. So I like to challenge myself to create content that people want to share. If I create content on my Instagram, I like it so people take it and they share it with the world and credit me with it. This isn't to boost my ego, this is just so more people can see my work and they can appreciate it, and it might help them in that day. But a trend normally takes hold when people share it, or if an online social media account that has a lot of followers shares it. But a trend really takes place when the online community starts to share it and it appears in mainstream media. If it's something that people want to share, then more people see it, and more people, which will lead on to the next one, will repeat it. This leads me on to the next attribute of creating a trend in design, which is someone influential starting the trend. If there is someone in the design community that is really influential, that is a logo designer, wallpaper designer, a GFX designer, a typography artist, or a font creator, and they start doing things differently and they have a pattern of which they're doing it, then a lot of other people who are under their following are going to do the same thing. So therefore, more people are going to do it. So you may be seeing a lot of these notable designers creating a certain type of design, or doing a certain composition, or having a certain integrity to the brand, and a lot of people want to replicate their success in doing that, so therefore they do it, and lo and behold, after a while, if it meets all the criteria, it becomes a trend. And by no means necessary am I saying that trends are good in the design industry. You can use them, you don't have to use them. They normally only last a little while though, so keep that in mind. But trends can be used for good, and they can also be overused. Such as if someone in the industry does this kind of weird design, like a bold design, in all their branding and everything that they do, and everyone else starts using really bold design and doing the same sort of thing, that becomes sort of a copying trend. So the next way to start a design trend is by keeping the future in mind and being in on current events in technology. Design now is less print media and more technological media, social media, and computer systems. Design is moving very quickly into technology, and it is in full force scale. Beforehand, there were only designers in like print media, and now we've got designers for websites, logo designers, we've got business card designers and brand strategists. And the way to start a design trend is by looking at future technology that is coming out. So for instance, VR, virtual reality, is a very easy design trend for me to see that is going to take off this next year. How do I know? VR is becoming more accessible to people like me or people like you, people who can actually afford it. Beforehand, when a new technology comes out, it's very expensive, and then when it starts to hit the consumer market for the price, people are going to be buying it, so therefore there is more options for you to design things in it. There's a design trend in VR because more people are going to be seeing it. The way that I knew that there was a design trend coming out is very simply by looking and saying, look, VR is going to be big this year, so therefore the design within VR is going to be big. Such as UI design. When the Apple created the new App Store, more people are creating apps and UIs and different design elements for them. Not saying it's a trend, but looking at current technology can see what people are doing, such as the minimalist trend from Apple. More companies now create a minimal trend because they want to replicate Apple's success in that area. And the fifth way to start a design trend is by looking at the past. You may have heard the term, it's coming back into fashion. About 10 years ago, people were raving about Adobe Illustrator and all these different products that are coming out from Adobe and people creating digital media. But because there's so much digital media now, we can start to see that hand lettering now is very much searched for on the internet. People want to know the craft of hand lettering. They're interested as to how people create fonts with their hands. Calligraphy has taken a comeback as well because you don't see it very often, and it's interesting when it's not being seen so often, especially in this oversaturated marketplace full of technology and digital design. Hand lettering, I do not believe is a design trend. I believe it is trending, but it's not just one of these trends that will leave us in about 10 years time. I do believe it will drop off, and that is simply because a lot of people are searching for it now, and then when it gets overly saturated, people will move on to the next trend. You see what I'm saying? And the last, number 6, the last way to start a design trend is a strange one, but it's look at what the audience is drawn to. Replication is something that we all do, and a way to start a design trend or to get a design trend going is by a lot of people replicating what someone has done or a couple of people have done. And we replicate based on what the audience is drawn to, and the audience is the mass market. Trends are a very strange thing, and it is fun to look at and to research and to see, and it's also very helpful for you in your business if you are starting design to know what's trending this next year, not just so you could do what's trending, but so you could be ahead of the curve and you can start doing better work and maybe setting another trend. I could be completely wrong, guys, but let me know your thoughts about what actually starts a design trend down below. And Merry Christmas, by the way, to anyone. I don't know if any more videos are going to be coming out until Christmas, but I'll be doing Christmas videos everywhere else. Also, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who talked about my workshop and commented. If you don't know, click the links down below. I'm coming to America in January 2018 to do some workshops. I'll be in New York, San Francisco, and Denver, Colorado. So click the state in the description below and take yourself to those websites and you can sign up for my workshops. I just want to give a huge shout out to FreshBooks for sponsoring this video. FreshBooks is an online invoicing platform that I use to send invoices to my clients and anyone who I work with. It's amazing for me and for you because you can easily gather up your expenses and everything that you've bought for your business and also send invoices out to clients recurringly. You can see if they've actually viewed your invoice as well if they've just clicked on the button, and you could also send them late payment fees that are automatic. FreshBooks means that you get paid easily and you don't have to worry about filing all your systems away for tax and stuff. It takes the hassle out of actual taxing and invoicing, and it is just a pleasure to use. It's so simple. And you have a mobile app, which is sick. If you'd like 30 days of FreshBooks for completely free, click that link down below and also tell them who sent them to you because they want to know that I'm sending you to them. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video and I'll catch you in the next one. See you soon. Goodbye.